up? So, I was gonna do this whole thing of me talking about the TV show Marianne because that show, amazing. It was amazing. Like, I'm really into scary horror. I love it. I stopped watching it for a while because no, I didn't stop watching horror scary like movies or TV shows. I stopped watching like paranormal things because I do think the more that you consume it, the more your brain like or energy or mind just opens up to it, and like, a lot of creepy things were happening to me, so I just kind of stopped. And so I was kind of being more like wary of what I was consuming. But anyways, they're starting up the construction again. If you can hear that, I'm really sorry. I hope it's not. I hope I can talk louder than it, and I hope it's not so annoying. I mean, if it is, like, this video will probably not even upload because, like, I've been dealing with this noise for, like, hours. So, like I said, I was going to talk about Marianne because I think it's a phenomenal show. I think it's very well done. I think the creep factor is perfect. There's no cheap scares. There's well balanced. There's characters. I mean, there are some actors that I don't know if it's the first time like they're acting, and you can see this in various shows like Shadowhunters. Like, most of those actors were like first time. So you can kind of tell when they're acting, like they're getting used to it, and they get better throughout the episodes or the seasons or whatever. And so like this one, there were some actors who were just kind of very like not that great, but others really were. So it's just you know, that's always gonna happen. But I really enjoyed the whole entire thing. It was just really well done. But what I wanted to talk about was, okay, so I've had sleep paralysis before. Like, I've you know, when you wake up and your body's still asleep or like paralyzed and you just can't move. Like, I've had that happen to me, you know, like maybe 4 or 5 times, and like it's totally fine. Like, I never see anything, nothing has ever happened. It's just I can't move, and it doesn't like, yeah, the first time I was like, what the heck, but now it doesn't freak me out. I remember one time when I was a kid, I had sleep paralysis. That freaked me out so bad because that time I did feel like a spider was crawling on my face. That wasn't great, but other than that, nothing. Oh, I do want to talk about something. Is that one time when I was younger, maybe under the age of like 7, I want to say, I would see this man. Like, it would be like a tall man with a dark, like, everything was black. He had like a long trench coat or like a hat. Kind of looked like he was outside in the rain type of, you know, wear. He had black boots, and I would always see him, but like in the corner of my eye, and walking away. I never saw him like standing still. I always saw him like walking away. And I grew up in New Jersey, okay? And years later, like now in college, I was talking to it with a friend, and she grew up in Columbia, right? And she saw the same exact thing, and I was like, whoa. So I googled it, and apparently it's like not this huge phenomenon, but there's like a lot of people who have seen when they were a child this man dressed in a trench coat and with like a black like hat that kind of goes out, and like black boots, and they always see him either standing or like walking away. And I just thought that was so weird, and like, so like I never felt afraid of him. I just was like, oh, there's someone there. So I don't think he's like a bad person. Maybe he just, I don't know if he like watches over kids or something, maybe. But yeah, my mom, she's very into tune with like the supernatural and like all those things, and like she's just very in tune, I don't know, to those things. And like, I think it's very like a matriarchal thing. Is that how you say it? Because like my dad, he's very oblivious. I always tell him like a ghost could be standing in front of him, and he'd just be like, what? Whereas like my mom, my sister, and I, oh, I got hiccups, sorry, we're very like sensitive to that. And so I don't know like what happened in like the bloodline or like family history. I don't know, it's really interesting. I hope one day I can like look it up and see like what's going on. But I don't want to talk about my mom without her permission because I feel like that's kind of like weird. So I'll just talk about myself. Anyways, back to the sleep paralysis thing. When it turned very scary was I had just fallen asleep. It was maybe 2 in the morning. I had just fallen asleep. You know, I was maybe like an hour having been asleep. Maybe even less. I don't know. Like when, you know, after you just go to sleep, time doesn't like, it's kind of weird. Sometimes you're like, oh, it's only been 5 minutes, and sometimes like, oh, it's been like 8 hours. So it's kind of like sketchy. But I know I hadn't fallen asleep for that long, and I kind of like started myself awake because I felt someone holding both of my hands, like both of my wrists from behind, and that like startled me awake because I was like, what the heck is happening? Also, I sleep by myself. Like I'm only bedroom is like I'm only the only occupant. And so I felt someone behind me, like laying on top of me, holding onto my wrist. That was freaky, but then the thing that really freaked me out was that I felt someone's face up to the side of my head, and I could hear their breathing. I was terrified. I know I'm saying this very chill because it happened like a month and a couple of weeks ago or something, so like I'm more chill about it now, and plus I kind of compartmentalized. But it was like the freakiest thing. Like I literally felt terror because in my mind it wasn't like, oh, there's something supernatural. It was, oh my god, there's someone in my bedroom, and I could feel them. I could feel their weight on top of my back and them moving. And then when I could finally move, I knew it was in sleep paralysis. Like I couldn't, it was sleep paralysis, but at the same time I was like, it can't be. Like I felt like it was someone just not letting me stand up. And when I finally could, I just swung back and like did like this because I thought, well, if it's someone there, like I can hit them and move them back. There was no one in my room, obviously. I was terrified to go back to bed. I was just like, what is this? What the heck? Like why? Like no. And I remember telling my parents about it, and my parents are kind of just like, I told the people about it, and they're just like, and here I am freaking out, being like, there's a demon or something. But I did tell one friend, and he was like, no, I believe you. Like I've had like he has had like one person like stand, like, and it's the same type of, like, it's not like different people in his sleep paralysis are standing on top of his chest. It's like one person, like physically the same person standing on his chest and not letting him breathe. But yeah, that freaked me out so bad. Like and the reason I'm talking about it now is because this morning, as I was between awake and asleep, I felt someone choking me. I know, not like physically, like, oh, I can't breathe. I just felt like the pressure of someone going like this, and I was like, love that for me. And then because obviously I don't trust my eyes or my ears because I think a lot of like ghosty things and stuff, because you're already freaked out, your brain amplifies that fear, and so you start to see and hear things that you just aren't like. It's like when you're in a dark room, like for example, I have like a thing with a bunch of purses. My dad, when he's in the other room and he sees that, he thinks it looks like a person. And if I'm sleeping without a nightlight, I sleep with a nightlight. Now I do. Before I didn't, but what I didn't, like that silhouette would look like someone standing there, and that's because your brain is amplifying the fear in your brain. Yes. So I was just like, even though I see things, I'm not going to trust myself and be like, oh yeah, I saw that. But I woke up, obviously, because I felt like the pressure on my throat, and I just saw the silhouette of a man, but not completely. I just saw his silhouette from his chest up, and then it just kind of went away. And so like I said, I compartmentalized everything into a tiny box. And I was just like, you know what? No. We're not going to do with this. I went back to sleep. Am I one of those idiots who would probably die in like the 5 first minutes of the movie? Probably. But And so I don't know anymore. I don't know. What is it? Is it just like my brain? Is it just like, you know, normal sleep paralysis that you're just, because your brain is between being awake and being asleep? Like, I don't understand. And like, I'm not like, before I used to be afraid of sleeping in my room, not anymore. So what's that about? I don't know. And I try to avoid, like I said, scary things, like, and you know, you're probably thinking, oh wait, but you watched Marianne, maybe that made you like afraid, but like, no, because my fear had nothing to do with what I saw in Marianne. And apart from that, when there were creepy things, I just covered the screen, because like, I know myself, I know that I'm gonna be freaked out. And the thing is, after I watched that, I slept perfectly fine. I had no nightmares, no nothing, like, chill. So I don't know. And like, in my house, there are parts, like, I've seen, where like, I will look into, let's say the living room or something, and I'll see, like, okay, so I looked. That's why I no longer look places. I just go where I'm going, my destination. I'm like one of those horses that, you know, they put like a thing in and they can't see onto the side. I'm like that. And I just saw a shadow go like this. And I was like, haha. And so I do believe that the more that you investigate, the more that you consume, the more that you like are in tune to that, the more open you become, and the more like you attract those things. So that's why I try very hard to not consume like ghost stuff anymore, to like, you know, just, and not even just ghost stuff, like anything paranormal, supernatural. I'm just like, and I know you're probably like, what, Marianne? But like, I'm talking about real things, like real stories, real investigations, like things that are not movies or like, you know, stuff like that. I don't know. It's super creepy. It's super scary. I have a bunch of stories of like creepy, scary things that have happened to me or to my mom. And it's just like, I don't know. I've had nice things happen as well. Like, for example, my grandmother, when she passed away, when I went to study like abroad, I would smell her perfume. And you'd probably think like, oh, it was someone else. No, I was walking by myself, like towards the bus or whatever, and I would smell her perfume, and I would come and go. And like, I knew that she was taking care of me. Like, I knew she was like watching out for me. And like, those times are super like, you know, they're nice. And there are other times, an aunt passed away, and I would always end up calling, I would always have to stop myself, because I would always tell my mom, I would almost call my mom by my aunt's name. And I would tell my mom, like, I think your sister is here, because, like, I never have had that. Like, my aunt and my mom don't look alike at all. Like, they're completely different. I have never called my mom by her sister's name, like, no. And so I think those things are different. I mean, yes, they're supernatural. Well, yeah, they're not, like, natural. They're not, but they're, sorry, I got hiccups. But they're nice things. And, and so those I'm, like, chill with, but, also dead bodies. I've seen okay, that makes me, okay. You know when you can go to funerals and people have open caskets? I've seen, like, 2, I think. And it's traumatized me. I don't know why I saw the first one. My mom was like, do you want to go see? And I was like, okay. And then I saw it and I was traumatized. Because it is this weird thing of, like, if you ever had a friend or sleepover or someone in your life falling asleep before you, and you turn to look at them, they look asleep. They look alive but asleep. But someone who's passed and it's just a body, the most unreal thing. They Like, I know a lot of people don't believe in, like, souls and past lives. I truly believe in past lives and souls and all that. I do believe you go and then you come into another body. It might not be, like, immediately. You might be a ghost form for a couple years, or, like, it all depends. But what was I going with this? What was I talking about? I have such bad memory. Ghosts? Oh yeah, okay. So I do believe that when you die, your ghost leaves your body, and your body is just a shell, and it's the most, I can't explain the feeling, but when you're looking at it, it's not like you're looking at a doll. It's nothing like that. It's something unreal, and just you're waiting for them to open their eyes and wake up. And I remember I have buried personally 2 people that I love, and both of those times, like, one was a case where they died young, so it was worse. The other one was with my grandmother, but my grandmother was already in her 90s, so it's understandable that someone in their 90s would pass away, you know, old age. But it was still so disconnected in my brain, the fact that their body, like, I remember the part that most impacted me was when they were lowering the casket, and I was like, their body's being lowered into a tomb that they're gonna be in. And I remember when my friend who passed away, I remember being like, he's gonna be by himself, he's gonna be alone. It was this weirdly, like, funerals, things, like, anything of that is so weird because your brain just can't comprehend that they're no longer here, that they're just gone, and their body is just, it's nothing. And it's just so mind-boggling, and it's just, like, scary because, yes, we have, like, a brain and a heart, and that's what's keeping us alive. Oh, I got hiccups. But it's also your soul. It's your soul what makes this thing move, and it's just like, I don't know, man. It's so weird. I don't know. This started out with sleep paralysis and ended in, like, natural death, but if anyone knows, like, has had sleep paralysis, or if what am I experiencing? Is it, like, sleep paralysis? What is happening? I would love to know, because no one in my life takes it seriously, and, you know, I just would love to know that it's not someone, because, but I don't feel any, like, I used to feel negative stuff, but they've, like, burned, not sage, but it's this other thing to, like, purify the house and all bad energies and stuff. And so since then, well, the house, like, the first few days, that was freaking torture, because obviously that shakes things up, but after that, it settled, and now the house was super fine, super normal. So I'm like, why the heck am I having these weird, like, oh yeah, someone's, like, preventing me from standing up, someone's, like, in my ear, someone's, like, what is happening? And like I said, I don't trust my vision. So, personally, in this room, I will see, with no, like, if it's right broad daylight and I see a shadow, I'm like, it's obviously there's light. No. I see it when there's no, like, when it's dark out and I have, like, the curtains down, it's just with my normal light. I will see shadows just, like, move, and I'll just be like because I don't trust it. So, like, literally, I've become my dad. Like, a ghost could be like, sup, and I'd be like, don't trust it. So, I don't know what I'm trusting. I don't know what I'm seeing. I don't know. I'm like, I remember one time I made the mistake of telling because I used to hear in my bedroom, because I always am the last one to go to sleep, and I was just chilling watching YouTube videos, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to sleep, I'm gonna go start getting ready, and I was brushing my teeth, blah blah, and I heard something outside this bedroom, and I was like, what? And as I walked closer to my door to, like, put my ear against the wall, it's like I heard, like, imagine if you're in a party and then you go into another room and you close the door, you can still hear, like, the whole party but muffled, kind of like that. And I would hear that and I'd be like, huh. But like I am myself, so I would just be like, I didn't hear anything. And I would also hear people, like two people walking up, not two people, two steps, like, you know, person walking up the steps and just stop outside my bedroom. I no longer hear that, so maybe it's gone. But I remember one time I made the mistake of telling my psychologist that, and I was like, no, but it's just my imagination, because I was like, I don't want her to write down that I'm like, you know, she's seeing things or hearing things, because like obviously from a psychologist's perspective, they don't believe in ghosts. So, but yeah, so if you know anything about ghosts or who knows what I'm seeing or stuff, I no longer know, but I felt like I needed to talk to someone, at least someone who will be like, I get it, I've had it, or something, because no one in my life seems to care. They're just like, that's normal, and I'm like, what world is that normal? Who is like, oh yeah, weird things are standing on top of me, or laying on top of me. Totally normal. But anyways, I guess that's it. I have 2 fruit left. Almost fell. So yeah, if you stumble upon this video, if you're still watching, bless your heart. And if you know anything about anything that I just talked about, that would be great to know that, you know, an answer would be cool. Bye.